Hi everybody, it's MA. I am here to do a combo which is partly a VR to Julie at Peekaboo Rose as well as to Julia at Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I think Martin at Marty's Musing has also done a video on this as well. And then it's going to kind of expand into a tarot activity, whatever number we're up to. So I'll put the details in the description. So Julie did a video a little over a week ago. It was a read with me video for anyone who, a spread to use for anyone who happens to be kind of still going through it. In the crapper, a lot of change, a lot of things. So I think a lot of us are still kind of dragging ourselves through what's only been the first quarter of 2026. And I'm, for the most part, generally just quite delighted lately. Everyone in tarot universe, at least the ones that I'm around, seems to all be very kind of caring and nice with each other at the moment. I think everyone's kind of in this tender place, and I don't know, that's just lovely, and I'm always grateful to see it, whether or not I'm a recipient. But it's just like it's a nice part. It's a nice little corner of this alternative reality here. Anyway, so Julie used her Cup of Contemplation cards to build a 3-position spread, and she had been inspired by Tammy Pie, who made a different video and used that deck. So that's kind of the deal. So the beginning of my twist is, so I have already done this spread for myself and gotten the needed, kind of intense and deep response. Then I've probably also done it about 35 more times, but bear with me, there's a reason. Okay, so my first thing that I'm going to do right now is, once you do the spread for yourself, and you can do this with any 3-card spread, but this is a good one to start with. Once you do the spread for yourself, I would suggest, and what I found useful to me, is go grab a deck that either you haven't spent the time with to learn it yet, a deck from a system that you keep saying you're going to learn but you don't know, or you haven't really, you're feeling a little scared to touch it. Go get that deck and redo the spread. So I have dipped my toes in Thoth last year. Parts of it I think I get. I'm totally at sea with the court cards. I'm definitely, not there with a lot of, the depth of things. So part of my second prong of this advice of go get a deck you're not really familiar with is, you're going to be free to refer to the guidebook, but try to get yourself to kind of puzzle through the reading first. So let's just do this reading with the Thoth deck. And my vulnerable moment here is, I'm not so good with these cards. If we get court cards, I'm going to be reading that book. Okay. The first card is, did I write it down? I did not. What would it be like, or what would it feel like if I stopped, or if I were to stop comparing myself to other people? And we've got the Hierophant here. So to me, that means being more sure of what my own core is, not being so distracted by all this noise that can then turn into, for me, different personas that I feel like I might need to be trying on or putting on, to be out there in the world the way that I see other people doing it, and just to kind of stopping the comparisons can really just hone me in, to really feel rooted in my actual personal self. I don't mind seeing that card there. Okay. It's a challenge. And I think part of the thing that has, come up for me as I go through this spread too, is the difference between not comparing myself to others, and that doesn't mean blocking out learning from others, right? So it's taking like the toxic component out. Okay, the second position is, what am I overthinking? It would be funny if it was the world, because the answer is everything. Okay. Ace of Discs. Interesting. Overthinking. Yeah, I'm overthinking, and I'm just going to give this the most like basic meaning of discs, meaning like assets and currency and that kind of stuff in the world. I am overthinking that. I'm currently employed, getting ready to retire, and what I've been overthinking is, I guess, that relationship of what would make me feel rooted and confident in what I already have, because that foundation doesn't feel, even though the foundation may be there, I don't feel it. So that's something I'm overthinking. And I'm doing this as a pretty quick reading. And then the third card is, what's an action I could take right now or today? And I've got the Princess of Wands. Oh, I love how she's just floating and drifting up this hill so free. I'm not sure how to translate this one yet. It's late at night. So I'm just going to think about that Princess of Wands with this. I don't know, this vagina altar. What is going on in this card? A tiger? I don't know. Again, I don't know the deck or the court cards very well. So I'm going to think about that Princess of Wands. Usually when I get a wand, it's telling me to do something. I'm not really sure what that is. So in real life, I would have to think about that more. But that was my little demo of the spread. So now here's my twist for you. So we've already mentioned, maybe try this with a deck you don't know very well yet, or you haven't touched in a while, and you're going to have a guidebook of some kind with you. Then what I'm going to suggest, and this is crazy, is you're going to do it 25 more times, and you're going to use the whole deck. And you're going to do the same reading 25 times in a row. Now, this one is a little probing and personal, so there's a couple of routes you can take here. One is you can do a different 3-card spread every time, but I find that when I'm reading for myself, I start to kind of wallow in a lot of stuff. So my suggestion would be to use an imaginary querent. Pretend you're at some kind of fair or festival giving readings, and they're short readings. I'm talking like speed readings, 2 or 3 minute readings. You could say to yourself, okay, this person just came in for a love reading. Okay, next person is asking career advice. Next person is asking, should I, sell my house? You could do that. The other option, which I really love, is you could just grab your deck, turn on your favorite TV show, and start to do Julie's spread for different characters on the show. And I was I was playing around before. I had been watching the extended cuts of The Office, and I was doing spreads for Andy Bernard and Jim and Pam and Creed, and it was really fun. So whatever your jam is, Bridgerton, The X-Files, I don't know, a football game, all of a sudden you've done 26 readings in a row and you've touched every card in the deck. So I think that is totally fun. The other part of this is I am someone who usually journals my readings, or sometimes I just sit there and think about them. And this is a good moment to practice, for me, speaking the readings out loud, especially speaking them to an imaginary person and using their name. And you could just make up a name every time, or again, if you're watching a TV show, yeah, just go ahead and do that. And what else did I have here? Yeah, anytime you need hands on a deck time, you could, if you want to practice a whole bunch of 3-card spreads, different ones, you can try it that way. But yeah, I think sometimes it's a weird combination of helping me focus, and it's weirdly soothing, especially when it's not about me. even though I say it's not about me, but of course, you know, I'm projecting my issues onto Jim and Pam and Creed and Andy Bernard, I'm sure. But anyway, that's how I've been practicing. A little bit of thought. It's some of it is coming quicker to me. Again, the court cards, I'm just like completely baffled by the court cards so far. And I only had the short little Crowley, you know, the little white book from this deck, so that wasn't really helping me. So I hope you'll do Julie's spread because it's really good. And when I originally did it, it both kicked my ass and was very helpful. So yeah, and if you're in, like so many of us, that kind of tender, bruised, dumbfounded, stupefied, grieving, horrified place, combined with all the joy and all the other good stuff, you know, you're not alone. So yeah, give this a shot. I found it really helpful. Okay. I mean, Julie's part. My part, do what you will. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye.